Stephen.
Andrew.
Do you fancy spending a quiet night inside number 9?
Of course I do.
Well, that's good, because we're going to. And we are going into the script book and finishing off series 6 with episode 6, The Last Night of the Proms. We've finally got there. It's been a bit of a bitty kind of season, this one, because it was rudely interrupted by the live show, Stage Fright, which we released. That was our previous episode. So for anybody who went to see it, then please do go and listen to that if you haven't. It is full of spoilers. So anybody planning to go to the tour in the autumn, it might be worth just keeping that one in the back pocket until you've seen it as well, because I think it's worth not ruining it by knowing anything about it. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree.
Good. And to anyone who listened to our episode before the end of the run, we'd spent ages, getting our dates right, and we were like, right, we'll record. We'd recorded the day after we went to see the show. We recorded our reaction episode, and then thought, okay, we'll release this after the run ends. And then I was being proactive the week before the end of the run, so towards the end of March, beginning of April. And I thought, I'll schedule the episode now. Thinking that I was scheduling it for the 10th of April, I managed to schedule it for the 10th of March, so it retroactively released it. And so then we got an email from Percy saying, thanks for the shout out. So that's Winter Soul Witch. And I was like, what? Why have people listened to that? And then realized, oh, crap. It's gone out after all that diligence. So, yes, thank you, Percy. And again, thank you so much for the amazing breakdown of the show, because it was incredibly useful, even though we were, recording it the day after we saw it. There was so much that we'd forgotten.
There was so much to forget. There was so much stuff.
Huge amount of stuff. Yes. And we want to just clear up because, Steve, you made a little jibe, didn't you, about...
Don't call it a jibe.
About the amazing memory that Percy has.
Clearly better than ours.
Yes. And yes, has done that for great reasons, to sort of provide a rundown of what goes on for anybody that couldn't make the live show. And so, Steve, your words about, have they been filming this? Is that the only way? No, of course not.
Of course not. No.
So, yes, thank you, Percy, for getting in touch and clearing that up. Not clearing it up. It didn't mean clearing up. It was a joke. But yes, apologies. I don't know. I'm not very good at these things.
That's why I've just been thrown under the bus.
People can go back and listen. It was you that said it.
Oh, was it? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it was you that said it. Yeah. Right, let's get into what we're here to do, which is The Last Night of the Proms. How was going back and watching this with the script book for you?
It's not an easy watch, is it? At all. And that's not to say I don't enjoy it, but it's not an easy watch because the subject matter is heavy. There's not a whole lot of laugh out loudness. It feels like quite a lot of work decipher it. I think when we first did it, it was a case of what on earth have we just watched? And I think that's what pretty much everyone has thought. Some people have thought that in a good way, some people in quite a bad way. Mm. It's down as some people's least favorite, I think, mainly because it's I don't know. It's hard going. I think we were able to. I think we probably touched on most of the political narrative stuff that was going on when we first recorded, and as you always say, we try not to go over ground again to a huge extent. I don't know how easy that is with this episode, though, because it's all about the messages in it.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, same. Absolutely. I found it really heavy because I think, we did the live, like the immediate reaction of.
Oh God, it was part of that, wasn't it?
6. Yeah, it was part of that series.
God, I just blanked all that out.
Yeah, so we did a live recording immediately after the first airing of the episode, and I remember feeling like that's either one of the greatest things I've ever seen, or not, or obviously.
I mean, that would be true of everything.
Yeah, it's true of everything. This is either the greatest beer that I've ever drunk or not.
It isn't.
And I think it's probably not, but
you like to cover all bases with every reaction you have to anything. I'm always right.
It's a good approach. Yeah, but going back now, and I think obviously, it's a few years. When did these come out? Was this 2021? It was, wasn't it? Because it was like the year after COVID, yeah. And so even now it feels like, in terms of all the Brexit stuff, it feels like we've moved beyond that place a little bit. So it felt like being dragged back into a moment.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, there's some stuff there that is very contemporary of that kind of time, that it's kind of a little bit dated in that respect, I guess. It's the reason why you always don't like to call things Christmas Day episodes. They're special day specials for that exact reason.
Yeah,
but you are right. All of that kind of visceral reaction to all that stuff that was going on at the time, and because it was, even though it was a number of years before that, in the last 4 years, you're right, the discourse has moved on to the extent where, rightly or wrongly, that isn't really discussed very much anymore. Whereas, you were kind of almost have flashbacks.
Yeah, it was, and I think because one of the things that people were reacting to at the time, it seemed to be people interpreting a particular lens through which Steve and Reese were writing this, and some people were like, it's pro-Brexit. Some people were,
which was bizarre because of the way. Like I said before, we did the political stuff, but I think it's difficult to avoid. Again, was that it was one of those really good examples of people seeing what they wanted to see and hearing what they wanted to hear. Because from what I saw, everything was very ambiguous. The kind of the moralistic stuff wasn't there. Like the smug Remainer guy was the one who ends up stabbing someone repeatedly and is the biggest racist out of all of them when it comes to it. And the Brexit guys are the ones having fun and actually looking out for the foreign guy that's appeared in their house. So all of that was very blurry. Like there was very little to know. These are the good guys. These are the bad guys. At all. Yeah,
I think it's a incredibly ambiguous episode, even with, as you get to the end, and there's these great big insinuendos about about is this some holy character? Was this the second coming of Christ and all of this stuff? And actually that's not tied up, and there's so much ambiguity in this that it does require, or it does invite you to just speculate, or to just be like, no, there's nothing. It's not neat enough for me. I need things tied up in Nice, neat
Nice
packaging.
flag.
Tell me. Yeah, exactly. Tell me what it all means. So yes, what we do here is just go through the script and spot any discrepancies that are different from the final filmed version, and talk about them a little bit and think about why that might be or whatever. So yeah, I mean, didn't overall notice a huge amount of stuff. There was quite a lot of things moved around, and it was hard to go through because all of the lyrics from the music are in the script.
Yes, and sometimes not completely matching up with what was going on at that exact moment.
No, exactly.
I mean, wasn't this one of the episodes that was filming started and then stopped and then had to recommence a long time later as well?
Yeah.
So it might have been in between those times, stuff just ended up being moved around and shifted around, and because that's a very long period. If it was it pre-lockdown and then post-lockdown?
I think it was, yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
I forgot about that, yeah. There's a couple of the early things with the setup of where the 9 was. I think.
Okay.
There's an oval plate by the front door with a twee colour print and a number 9. But actually it's just a classic 9 on the gatepost, with Yusuf kind of standing there.
I very much enjoyed the description of Dawn as provincial but aspirational.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that as a description.
That is good. Yeah, and that wasn't... Because that was International Bathroom Night. And her 50 provincial but aspirational is touching up her lipstick. We see her in the mirror, then the back of her head as she applies more makeup. Finally, she turns around and we see a red and white cross of St. George painted on her cheek.
Which she didn't have.
No, and we didn't see them touching up the makeup thing.
No, and it went straight to Ralph in the armchair, didn't it?
Yes. Yes, having his hat put on his head. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird that when I read that initially, the party, it says a Union Jack party hat is perched incongruously on his head. I read that as a description and thought, hang on a minute, no, she perches it. It is perched.
Yes.
That's a direction, not a description of it.
Yes. It's the verb.
Yes, the verb to perch.
To perch incongruously on somebody's head. Not yourself, an object. I was just perching like incongruously on your head. Yes. Oliver also has 2 earbuds in rather than the one that is in the
does he? Yeah. He's fully tuned out to the surroundings.
Yes. I love the fact that is the direction is one earbud in.
And they went, no, do both.
Yeah, it's got to be both. Because he's got to be... Because when he's asked a question, isn't it? And you have to pull the earbud out. As opposed to being poised with one earbud already out for questions that might come your way.
He's not interested in any questions that come in his way.
No, he's not.
I don't think we saw... So it's directed that we saw the sheepdog as well, and I don't think we did.
English sheepdog looks on suspiciously. The
How's a dog look suspiciously?
Yeah, maybe that's what or maybe they tried really hard to just get him to look suspicious. How? He's a dog.
Just play the Pink Panther music and see how he responds.
Little side eyes. I'm pretty sure maybe they've been watching too much Dick Dastardly and Muttley. I'm pretty sure Muttley has some suspicious side-eye action.
I'll just get side-eye action.
Just get the dog to do that. There's a ha thrown in as well from Mick.
Oh, is there?
I think it's when the Fantasia on British Sea Songs is introduced, and he's like, I think, is he standing in front of the TV and he goes, ha! That's not in the script.
No, there's a ha slightly later, but no, not there.
It's the second ha. Yeah.
Ha!
Using the woodwind section, I suppose.
The woodwind. I, as awful as he is, I the Mick character is a funny guy.
He is.
It feels like something that Steve was born to play as well.
Yeah, he does fit into it perfectly. Yeah, I think they both fit their characters in this quite well. Yeah, Brian Reese being grumpy, get everything right, sort of. Yeah.
On a slight side note, I was surprised. So they did a Times interview that came out this week. I was surprised at how old Reese's kids are. He's got kids in their 20s. I was like, oh.
Right.
Don't know why I'm surprised at that, but I am.
Yeah.
Same with Steve. Steve's got kids all in their 20s as well. I don't know why that surprised me, but yeah.
Yeah, he's just getting old.
Yeah, clearly. I don't think that Reese would be sat with his son on the sofa going, give me vinyl any day. Music is analog. It needs a range of frequencies.
I love Ralph. Wanker.
Yeah. What a great part to play. Just an old guy. Just an old guy just shouting abusive terms.
Yeah.
That just fit enough into the dialogue to make it funny.
Exactly. Yes. We have then a little shift around from International Conservatory Night is moved to... So Penny enters the conservatory and she can see Yusuf in the garden.
Yep.
She opens the French windows, cautiously waves to him. So that's after International Living Room Night when Dawn gives Brian some tissues. Is Catherine Jenkins making an appearance?
Filth.
But also, evidently, not what he would be needing tissues for.
Clearly.
Yeah. A cover.
This whole pantomime around the crying thing is just weird. I find it all very strange.
Yeah. I think this is part of what... Because I find this episode really bleak. And I think it's partly the decor and it's partly just the whole setup, this situation where you're going to watch this as an event and I don't know, it just feels really... Oh.
Do you feel like it's a middle class time warp, the Rocky Horror Show for retired school teachers?
I don't.
Right, Brian.
It's not that. No, I don't agree with Brian on that. No, I don't know what I can't put it into words, but yeah, I think they've captured, if that's what they were going for, they've captured it perfectly for me.
I do know what you mean. There's something,
just sort of stuffy and I think even just the lighting of that living room and
fairly dimly lit with all the stuff just everywhere.
Yeah,
that it feels like some of it's thought of and treated as like valuable heirlooms, but all of it's actually just stuff
like tat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was one very subtle change about the Home Sweet Home embroidery thing that she says is she's going to put it above the fireplace, or it was going something about it going above the fireplace. Oh, I'm going to hang it there. She was making a little. There's no place like home. I'm making a sample of that in Tuesday Night Craft Club. I'm going to hang it there above the fireplace. It had to go to beside the fireplace because above the fireplace is just covered in absolute nonsense. There's just so much tat on that on top of that mantelpiece that you're not hanging anything above that fireplace.
Yeah. I missed that. Yeah.
Because that's actually the first thing after that thing about the moving the International Conservatory Night stuff. It's all bang on for quite a long time. And I guess maybe this is one of those episodes where, aside from just moving the odd thing around, it did have to stay quite tight. And more so if they were having to mess around with when it was filmed and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So we've got the script. We can't mess around with too much stuff because we may then find that we filmed something before before all this nonsense that
continuity.
Yeah, we've now got big issues there. So we just stay on script, guys. Just stick with it.
And I guess because they're doing it to music, and like with this, because the hornpipe piece with is a very set. I guess it's a set piece that had the chaos in it, and this it's such a chaotic yet very tight scene. And it works to the music and to that climax at the end of
all the climaxes,
climaxes. And a lot of innuendos. I love it when they change the tune deliberately just to get a rise out of the conductor. Again.
I am also a massive fan of actually putting in the direction of Mick Dabs.
Yeah.
Ollie was up boogieing with the oldies. He taught me a few moves. Dab. Mick Dabs. Dawn enters.
I do like that. I love the way Ollie just starts to get involved in that scene as well. Just gets carried along.
Yeah, because his dad has absolutely no interest in it, and you'd have thought as a teenager he would kind of take any opportunity to do exactly the same, which is to just not engage. And luckily, Dad's not, so I can at least get away with this. But no, you know what?
I wonder whether the fact his dad is part of
maybe
because he doesn't seem like best buds with his dad.
No. There was also, they directed that Brian was pulling an envelope out of his jacket pocket with Dawn's name on it, which is something we get later on, isn't it?
There was.
But we don't get that little preview of it.
Planting that seed at this point, weren't they? Yeah. Because he pulls an envelope from his jacket pocket, has Dawn's name written on it. He looks across at her and smiles to himself before putting the envelope back in his pocket. So you're getting a taste of, okay, there's something concealed in his jacket that he is happy about, that he has for Dawn. And I wonder whether that, because if that was there, would it make you as a viewer think, oh, is there something going on between those two? Is that what, is it like a Nana's party style kind of?
Yeah. What's weird about that whole kind of subplot thing there going on is that because that's gone, I'm not saying it should have stayed, but it went. And so it does become this very concentrated little couple of minutes where something in Brian's mind is massively important is brought up. And it's kind of like this big thing of she's not part of the family, but then it kind of just sort of disappears.
Yeah.
It's just a really big thing and a big deal for about 30 seconds of the episode and then gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much it's revealing something about his character, I guess, and his hypocrisy around being inclusive and Europe being one big happy family kind of thing. But on the other hand, it's there and gone. Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, because it doesn't, even at the end, it just there's no implications around the house. Like who owns this house now, who's getting the. I mean, I'm imagining that Brian won't get his hands on the house anyway because there's probably a divorce coming. So
yes,
it's not going to be his. But yeah, you might be right in terms of it just showing him in a very stark light and his xenophobia, really, in the way that he delivers that German accent. And
he's more interested in her being of different origin than she is.
Yeah.
And this might be something we did speak about. It's been a while. It's a long time.
Yeah, can't remember.
I think it's more. It's a big deal in terms of his character, and this is what I meant earlier about the kind of it not being straightforward about who these people are and what the political message is or whatever. Like, you can't say that anyone's the good guy or the bad guy here.
No,
at all. He comes off a lot worse, I think.
Yes, I think he does. Yeah. But again, ambiguous. You're not dealing with goodies and baddies. You're just dealing with...
God, imagine that. Imagine not just being able to distill everything down to good guys and bad guys.
Yeah. Yeah, because even Dad... Ralph. It would be easy to paint him as almost a sympathetic character who's got some dementia going on and coming out with funny things. But the fact that he delivers that pitchfork in the way that he does, and you like with the C. Kyle comment as well.
Is there, in fact, on this page. C. Kyle, hand the hoch.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Elon Musk arrived.
Look, he was just throwing his heart out to it.
Yeah, like there aren't any... I don't think there are any real, apart from the dog, perhaps. And Yusuf. I mean, Yusuf's character's not developed in any meaningful way, so you don't have any real connection to him.
Which is, well, I think that's kind of the point of him, though, isn't he? He's like he's a foil for everyone else to reveal themselves.
Yeah.
Really.
As that Christ-like figure, yeah.
Yeah. The way you treat him is reflective of who you are and what your intentions are and those kind of things.
Yeah. That's an interesting point, actually. If you view it through that lens, he's this almost mirror figure, or this figure that brings out the character or the truth in the characters, and each of them has a different reaction to him.
Yeah,
because Ralph sees him as coming to take him.
Yep.
Brian sees him as an intruder who, I don't know, owes him some touching or whatever. I don't know what.
Although Penny sees him as a way of relieving her self.
Yeah, giving her some satisfaction.
Yeah. But also that she denies any knowledge of having seen before.
Yeah.
But he gives the opportunity for Mick to almost be the nice guy, whilst also being quite insensitive and patronising. He's not a hedgehog.
Do you want a little saucer of milk? Yeah. Mick's there's almost an indifference from his perspective. It's like, oh, this guy's just in the house. Like, we're having a party. Do you want a little saucer of milk?
Not what you offer most home intruders.
No, I think there is a general lack of reaction from...
Yeah, because regardless of anything about him potentially coming from the immigrant centre down the road, someone's just walked into the house you would be well within your rights to be slightly concerned that someone has just walked into the house, regardless of your feelings about immigration
Yeah.
at all. Like, some guy's just walked into my house. The color of your skin is completely irrelevant to me right now. Who are you? Why are you here? Is a fair reaction.
Yeah, it's fair reaction. Yes, fair question.
But I don't think a single one of them does entirely go for that. Because even Brian, with his craziness, decides to go straight in for the touching up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's because there's like a receiving of him in that sense. And like oh, okay, yeah, this guy's here. And then he brings out those different elements of each character that sort of ensues from there. But there isn't that normal reaction or that expected reaction, which would be like, hold on a second, how did you get in here? And who are you?
Like, police.
Well, they do mention calling the police, don't they? But then Penny says he'll be persecuted, which is a strange word, rather than prosecuted or
dealt with appropriately by the authorities. So someone who's just
persecuted and put in a cell, I think she says. So, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the best place for him right now.
We don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
Maybe we're revealing our own prejudices about people walking into our homes unannounced.
Yeah, maybe. It's not happened, so...
I don't know how I'd react.
I don't know how I'd react. There's a missing cock cheese is cut.
Missing what?
Cock cheese.
Oh, is there?
Ralph in the script says cock cheese. And I don't think he does in the episode.
Is he not? It's just a bonus cock cheese. So yeah, there was something moved. So I thought it had gone, but then it reappeared, talking about George Bush.
Oh yeah.
Well, there is a cock cheese that is scripted.
Does he say cock cheese in the episode?
Oh, I see what you mean. It was taken. It didn't make it in.
Yeah.
They're talking about the Conquering Hero tune. Old Lang Syne, dab.
Yeah. Cock cheese. I don't think that happens. Yes, the Rule Britannia. Yeah, they're talking about. He seems very serious, doesn't he? And then Penny says, "Handsome though."
Oh, and she said, and she says that very much at Brian. Yeah. It wasn't just a passing thing; it was a barbed.
Yes, very pointed, and so that was added. She doesn't say that in the script.
Handsome though,
very serious looking innie. Yeah, and then there's another Ralph change after he says boobies. He then says pretty jugs rather than titty jugs. I think.
Not titty. Is titty jugs like a tautology? Like, was the jugs required after the titty? Ollie drinking his water. Asks what his mum is. Asks his mum what it is. Not ask what his mum is. What are you? He asks what it is, and she says it's just mineral water. They cut if you say so.
Yes.
So in the script, he says if you say so, and then goes on drinking. In this, she says mineral water, and he just goes
a little smile. He's like,
he knows.
I know this isn't. I'm glad you think it is. I can carry on with this guy. Yeah, I think the if you say so wouldn't have worked as well for that. I think that was a good call.
So it kind of runs.
Yeah, pretty much like just tiny little changes, like changing the kind of people whose idea of humour is a pigeon landing on centre court at Wimbledon to the sort of people. And I don't know, is there a difference between the sort of people and the kind of people?
Kind, sort. Maybe it's just how the line came out.
Yeah. I feel maybe the sort of people has more of a loaded...
Your sort.
It's them, that sort of person, rather than that kind of person. That's more general and, less pointed, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that sort.
Your sort.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, and then it just runs... I think the Brian pushing Penny Because it's what's that described as? Penny tries to take Brian's drink off him, but he pushes her away and she stumbles awkwardly. Actually, how it comes out is more like he almost slaps her.
Yeah, it did seem more violent than kind of a shove out the way. It felt like
she falls due to the force of the slap rather than...
Yeah, you're right, because I started writing something, then I got rid of it because it kind of moved very slightly. But now, as you say that, it was a more violent move than a little push.
Yeah.
He's not...
It had a flavour of that isn't a one-off.
No.
Yeah, that looks like a... Yeah, he drinks too much. She tries to take his glass off him because she knows where this is going. And
he gets a bit shovey.
He gets angry. He gets violent, yeah. And this is where there's also the insinuendos here. This is where Dawn says... My use of the word insinuendo was a reference to Dawn saying, yes, sitting there with your snide insinuendos.
Good, it's a good word.
It's a good word. I do like it. Leave it, Dawny. Well, look, I've got no hard feelings. You could say that again.
Which brings us to this week's sponsor, Newman.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Good. If only we did have ad reads to do. Like we could really Adam Buxton this, couldn't we?
Yes. Also, when they're talking about, so this is where the letter comes out. And Brian has his moment. And it turns out that everyone's been a little bit involved in getting the DNA test sorted. Yeah. And Mick, remember when I said I wanted to count your teeth because it came up on the pub quiz? What came up on the pub quiz?
How many teeth does an adult human have?
Have we talked about this before?
Probably, but I assume that's what it means.
Well, he count his own teeth.
That's quite difficult.
Okay, I suppose that's better than... I remember when I said on the pub quiz it came up, how many teeth does Dawn, whatever their surname is have? Yes, and then there's a little change. It's all right, Dad. Everyone just calm down. How did you get in here? Oh, they do. How did you get in here? Dawn asks Yusuf. But it's changed from everyone just calm down to everyone keep calm.
Okay.
Just keep calm. Maybe a keep calm and carry on sort of little reference there.
So Brian starts searching him. And you get a bit about, I'm sorry about this, I just want to be sure you're not carrying a concealed weapon. People got tied up, gagged, forcibly broken into. Then it says Brian stares longingly into Yusuf's brown eyes. He didn't do that. No. I don't think he looked him in the face once during that whole thing.
No. Yeah, and I think that is an important aspect, again, of Brian. Not...
And another aspect...
Completely dehumanising and objectifying him.
Yeah, and I think also in a similar way, he was only scripted to have stabbed him 3 times. He went for a full-on frenzied attack.
It's difficult to watch that. Yeah.
And Yusuf doesn't... So it's scripted that Yusuf smiles.
Yeah.
Beatifically. Falls to his knees and slumps to the floor. He doesn't. That doesn't happen. He's kind of lying down already, isn't he? Because he's been stabbed with the pitchfork.
Yeah.
Brian's then gone in with a frenzied number of more stabs, and he's kind of already lying down at that point, and he just sort of slumps. So there's less of a kind of a...
Yeah. He does have he has a little smile before that, a little bit earlier when Penny's, I think, is Penny holding him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And whatever, beatifically.
It's like being made a saint, isn't it?
Oh,
when
like
you're
a
beatified.
Beatified.
Beatifically them.
I don't know what that sort of smile would look like. Could you do a smile like that to me right now?
Last time I was sainted, no.
And there's also an I am thirsty added there as well, I think.
I guess it's kind of a smile that suggests a certain amount sort of forgiveness and saintliness. I guess it's
like peace at the situation
yes.
that you have found yourself in.
Yes, I guess so.
Because he doesn't resist. He doesn't fight back.
No.
Yeah.
It's part of his thing.
Yes.
He's already got stigmata stuff going on. He's already on the cross at this point, isn't he? He's being stabbed by a Roman soldier and now someone else.
Yeah. Yes, quite. Then we just, as they do the tidy up, we get a little bit of shifting around again. The car, when they open the boot and put Yusuf's body in the boot, that is moved later than it is in the script.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also Dawn giving Ralph drugs that isn't in the...
Penny also doesn't do a cross on her cheek, does she?
Oh, I missed that. What was...
Does she or does she? I don't think she does. Oh, yeah. So it says there's blood on the Bless This House picture on the wall. Penny draws her finger across it and examines the redness. She draws a cross on her cheek.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Which I guess is supposed to reflect the St. George's cross on the cheek at the beginning that we also didn't get.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
So and maybe like that was just a callback kind of thing.
And like a kind of baptism type thing, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe.
And yeah, just more or less true to script. He's fast asleep rather than they're fast asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Because Oliver, I'm guessing they're talking about Ralph is fast asleep as well.
Yeah.
But Oliver was fast asleep on the living room floor. So
yeah, this was also where it was all a bit kind of mixed up with the lyrics and things like that. Like things weren't exactly happening at the same time with all these lines.
No, it was difficult to read, watch, and follow. Okay, where exactly are we? And make sure that is what is in the script being.
I mean, the thing is, I guess none of this stuff was. It wasn't like you had the words of Jerusalem being sung, and then what they were doing was kind of reflected what was being sung in the song or anything like that. So it didn't really matter. It was happening. Clear up was going on. Jerusalem was being sung.
And it's heavy. It's really heavy going.
They managed to do a lot.
They did loads.
In the time that Jerusalem was being sung.
They did loads, yes. I don't know what time it is when they then reconvene or where they've taken his body.
No.
And then they're
usually,
back.
Like that song, the England cricket team make it onto the field and get through a couple of balls into the first over and then it's done. These guys... They've cleared up a whole house and they disposed of a body.
They might have done all three verses, so...
it does go on a bit, doesn't it?
Maybe there are more verses than three. I don't know. But yes.
It's not some guy...
Make it longer. Yeah.
Not some guy playing it with a horn at the top of a stadium.
No, exactly. Before then going on to...
It's not the Barmy Army. That would have made this a bit less heavy.
Yeah, Barmy
the England
Army.
Cricket following me.
England. Yeah, that's true.
I'm glad we've added some brevity into it.
Oh man!
Not brevity, levity.
Levity.
Brevity implies
we've done the opposite of brevity.
We've unbrevited this. Debrevitied.
What's the opposite of brevity?
Debrevity.
Debrevity. This, whatever we're doing right now.
Unbrevity. This. Does this have a name?
I was thinking
Waffling.
longevity, but no,
Longevity,
I don't think this has particular longevity.
Longevity is how long like the relevance will last.
Yeah, I can't see that lasting.
Not how long you drag it out for.
No. Yeah, this final scene is like how flippant they are about what they've done. And like, yeah, that moment where they're singing Auld Lang Syne and Brian joins in, tries to grab Penny's hand.
No interest.
And it's like, guys, bit of perspective here. Yeah. What have you done?
Just killed a guy.
Just killed a guy.
But
Killed a guy.
the proms were a success. So.
That's true. I mean, they'll remember it. It's one of those making memories. You know, that's what it's all about.
And yeah, the ending with Yusuf reflected in the glass.
Yeah.
I think it is one of those ones where it is open to just a fair bit of what do you want out of it?
Yeah.
Really. And it's not even like there's any point in trying to guess exactly what was meant. It's kind of just yeah.
Yeah, because I think even the fact that they're open about how they're interpreting it and then being like, oh no, that could be explained away by this. But there's no proper resolution to that because it's like, oh yeah, that'll do. It's like, oh yeah, there was food in the fridge. Maybe he's just a chef. Yeah. It's like, hold on.
That's the thing. Like there's very little questioning of anything from them.
Yeah,
at any point. Like
and I mean,
the food appearing, the guy appearing in the house, like
at all in terms of the timing, because it's like, okay, even if he was a chef and he got all the stuff out of the freezer and then managed to defrost it and cook it all, like
you can cook from frozen.
Okay, you can cook from frozen, microwave from frozen.
I like that you went from you took quite a journey there from I wouldn't know about food that you cook from frozen to I'd microwave it from frozen.
Full power, 3.5 minutes.
Yeah. Anything could be cooked from frozen if you cook it hard and fast enough. I don't.
Yeah, no, maybe
not suitable for cooking from freezing. Sounds like a challenge more than anything else.
Yeah, no, you could have thrown that spread together actually quite fast. Fair enough.
2 loads of 3.5 minutes. That's 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Where's my vol-au-vents?
Yeah. Cool. And that's it.
And that's series 6.
And that's series 6. And that's the end of this book.
It is. That's the end of this series of books, isn't it? 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
4, 5, 6.
Oh,
yep.
You've got at the end of your full series book. It's the end of my series 6.
Oh, do you have a book for each series?
I do.
Yeah, you got the posh one
with the Stephen Rees scribble in it.
Yeah.
Which brings us on to our last run of 3, doesn't it? 7, 8, 9.
It does. 7, 8, 9. Only the 18 more episodes to go. Just 18.
Just 18.
So, yeah, we'll crack on with Series 7 next time, I suppose. We haven't got anything else to talk about between now and then.
There's no series wrap-ups, are there, for...
Not for script
book, no.
No.
I've lost track. I don't know what our format is anymore. What do we do? What is this?
I have no idea, but we're still doing it.
We are. Mainly for people such as Shah Listens, who very kindly on last week said, "I love this podcast and really hope because Inside is over that you're not over."
Oh, I missed that.
We're not over.
We're not over. We're fully under.
That's not the opposite of over in this context, is it?
I suppose not.
God, opposites are difficult, aren't they?
This is confusing. Yeah, English is a difficult language.
It is.
Yeah, no, we're not over. We're carrying on.
That's the opposite of over in this case.
That's the opposite of over. Yes, and if, obviously we're not doing a series wrap-up, but if you want to get in touch with any thoughts on anything we've talked about in this episode or previous episodes.
Within reason.
Within reason. You know what that reason is. Then, yeah, drop us an email, quietnightinside09@gmail.com, or get into. Was it Blue Sky that we got that message on?
No, that was that was a review on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, was it? Oh, cool.
It was.
Or you can write a nice review on Apple Podcasts, or
be like Shah listens and write us a 5-star review.
Yeah, that's very kind. Or, yeah, Blue Sky at AQNIN9, and we will try to remember to check in on Blue Sky.
Although, do not request the ability to DM us. You may get suspended.
That was a really weird situation because I replied almost immediately, again to Percy, when they joined Blue Sky, sent us a what's it? Not a message, the opposite of a message. It's not the opposite of a message. Like just a
opposites are hard. A communication via Blue Sky.
Yeah, that's it. Saying, please follow me back so that I can DM you. And then I did. And then
they got suspended.
DM'd, and then I replied to the DM. And then they got suspended, and it was like, no, I'm giving full permission for this.
I understand the mechanics at work, and I appreciate Blue Sky for thinking of that, but a little overzealous.
Yeah, it needs a bit of nuance to these people might actually want to communicate with each other.
However, in lieu of that nuance at the moment, don't come onto Blue Sky asking us if we'll follow you. Because I don't want you getting suspended.
No. If you want to send us a personal message, then email is probably the best. And otherwise, just, do us a Blue Sky communication in the public domain.
That's cryptic enough that the algorithm doesn't pick up on follow requests.
Brevity. We're really good at brevity.
What's the opposite of being good at brevity? Just being bad at brevity. That's the opposite, isn't it?
Oh, dear. Yeah, and if you fancy dropping us a few pounds to keep the hosting costs covered for this podcast, then you can do that through our PayPal Me link that will be in the description. And we're very grateful to everybody that has done that. No one's really done it for a little while, so that's a little bit sad. But if you fancy helping us out, and we'll give you a shout out at the beginning of a future episode if you want one. If you don't want one, let us know, and we won't say your name.
And Zebedee Chaos will be given all of the credit.
Zebedee Chaos will take a lot of credit. Yeah. All right. Let's stop. Let's make this brevy.
Let's make this brevy. Brief.
Brief. That's the word.
Is the word.
Brief is the word. Not brevy.
An ending hasn't descended like this for a while, has it?
It hasn't. I think we should pull the plug.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right. Well, have a good week. See you soon. Bye.